morning. My name is Oscar. I did OnSearch Interactive. We're a Microsoft SharePoint certified partner, and we provide SharePoint consulting. Just a little bit about myself. My family's from Nicaragua, and we came in Miami in the early 80s. As you can see, the Freedom Tower looks a little bit different now. And I did my undergraduate at New College of Florida. It's a quirky place. We don't have grades. We don't have credits. We pass and fail. We have an evaluation system. And we have Montessori-based curriculum where there's no required classes, but it's actually like we've done really well with that program, and we're one of the top public liberal arts institutions in the country. And it really was the platform or the foundation for my passion for the avant-garde and how to think outside the box, which is, I think, now, looking back, pivotal for my interest in entrepreneurship. And from New College, I started working at the Ocean Reef Club, which at a resort in the hospitality industry. And there I got more exposed to day-to-day operations. And it was interesting to be around accomplished people also. And they inspired me really to get into business and learn finance and just see what opportunities are out there. And it's just a beautiful property, and it really impacted in how I perceive things. So from there, I went to FIU, where I got my MBA and finance degree. Right there's my cohort for my IMBA. And one of the great things I love about FIU is just that it's international, it's diverse. Just on top, Krishna's from India, Eric is from China, Basil's from Saudi Arabia, we have Italy, Russia, Central, South America. It was just a great academic experience. This is one of our professors. He actually developed a cube game where it had to do with business process, where they theoretically would pay us for Rubik's Cubes that we would finish, and depending on how complex it was, we would charge them more, and it was just a great learning experience. And I love the innovation and just different approaches that people had towards education there, and it was just a really good experience. And so from there, I got through Gerard and the program, I got involved with OnSearch Interactive, where they focus on people with technology to produce results. And they have a lot of recognition in terms of customer care and experience in the field. As you can see, my desk is on the left, and it's nowhere near as fancy or high-tech as my boss's desk, which is on the right. But you know, it was a really good experience, and that big gummy bear is actually one of the it's out in the patio, and it's I think it's called the Miami Educational Center, which is where Atlantis University is located, and there's a lot of different offices, which was really good for me because I got to see more of the startup scene, different businesses, and it's also interesting to see just like the demographics in that area are way different from that in Brickell or other places in downtown. It has more of a youthful vibe, and there's just a lot of energy in that area, so it's a really great building. And my program, or my project for the program, actually revolved around this. It's called the CPDS campaign, which is basically SharePoint Deployment Planning Services Days. Companies who have Microsoft have in their agreement 3 SharePoint days. And so what our CEO devised was a campaign to actually recruit these people and try to actually get services from them. These are already companies that they have. And my focus as an intern was doing cold calls, content writing, but as you see, it was just, there was certain parts in the overall plan. We had pay-per-click campaign, the newsletters, events, referrals. And so what was also interesting was that he's very accomplished, the CEO, David Olivares, and what I thought was just humbling was that even though I was doing these cold calls and I was a part of this campaign, he would say, what can we do? What can I do better? How do we improve this? How do we sell SharePoint? And what was interesting was that even though I came to respect the cold calling process, what I come to learn is that how do we inverse the process? Instead of reaching out to people, how do we create a pool where people come to us? And that's where he said that it was referred to as something like an expert campaign, kind of. And so we were able to discuss the possibilities for the company developing their media presence and their online platform and just trying to actually broadcast how we are experts. Because our lead SharePoint consultant is actually the president of the South Florida Association, and so he has a lot of resources that make him a well-respected figure, and how do we just get that to people so they come to us? Some days I was a happy face because people are really nice, and some days I was not very happy because people were just rude or whatever, but it's also just part of the process. I mean, good or bad, it is what it is, and it was a really good experience because you have to face rejection when it comes to developing a business. Another component of my job was what had to do with content management, where I did a lot of writing. I did these blogs, which I knew nothing about SharePoint or computer technology or e-commerce at the time, and so I thought that this experience was actually the perfect addition or auxiliary to my academic experience at FIU, because it compiled the real world practices of how to, I was writing a document, but how do you make it appealing to look at, bullet points, images, things like that don't really cross your mind in the traditional classroom. And what I learned, I really like this quote: you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I felt that that really boils down why people cold call. Because if you have a list of your clients and someone tells you, there might be three clients in here. So if you go ahead and call through this list, you'll actually get something. And you really lose if you don't call them. And so if you call them, it could also result in something positive. So it'll be like a 40–50% shot. And also, I came to learn just a lot of being an entrepreneur is just creating your own reality, having a vision, and trying to recruit people to help you with that vision. And that was really good in terms of just having to have the energy to keep going. And overall, my experience, especially Gerard and my fellow interns, it was just everything. What I really liked most about the program was just having, not only being around different interns, different companies, but also the speakers, and Gerard's classes played a role too. It's just, you get exposed to all these experiences, all these different companies, and everything kind of boils down to these principles that are not really written anywhere. But one of them is nothing ventured, nothing gained. And every entrepreneur has a certain resources, abilities, and I guess cards in their deck that have a certain competitive edge over others, but that's going to differ among people, and you never really know until you really do something, and it's all about action. So that was my experience, and thank you.